Hey YouTube, welcome back to Ravenwood Acres. Today we got another Vegega video. We're going to put together the one they sent me a while back. We have partnered with Vegega. They sent me this raised garden bed that is the exact same. Well, they let me kind of pick, but this is the exact same models we have that we purchased prior to this partnership. And it is, it's going to match, right? So, because they're going to be in the same area in the yard. It is cold, wet, rainy, nasty here in the Pacific Northwest. And so, therefore, I'm going to assemble this in the workshop and we'll move it out probably into the yard area eventually. But I need to do some leveling out there. And I'm going to wait for a day that's a little drier before I want to move some dirt around. And so it's not just a muddy mess. So let's get started. Okay, so one thing that I noticed that's changed since the first one, this is the one I purchased. It came with this very simple user's manual that's sufficient to get the job done. But they sent me, and I would assume this is standard, is this new complete start guide. Now, once you have this, it doesn't really matter what model you buy. It has all the information in there. Of course, it has a good little starter. It's all full color. Here's the tools that you need to put it together. Now, they provide you with this little, nut driver type tool to hold onto the nut. You'll need to provide a cross tip Phillips style, number 2 style screwdriver. And they do have some gloves. They're fairly, cheap gloves that are just meant to be disposable. So if you have a better pair, you can use those. Those kind of help protect you from any sharp edges that may be there, although they do a pretty good job. All the edges are rolled. We'll look at that here in a minute. One thing I would like to note as you go in here is going to tell you about the rod placement. That wasn't evident on the first one I assembled, and I have mine up towards on the top hole. As you see here, it doesn't have any sort of placement guide. Now you go to page 23 in this one. And right, so page 23, simple enough because you have different assemblies, but it's just telling you to put it in the second hole from the top. So you go down one from the top hole, put it there. I can adjust the one I have. I haven't had any issues where it's at currently. However, it could have issues in the future, so I will adjust those. But let's take a look at assembling this. Okay, so real quick, with this 17-inch tall, it is 2 by 6 feet long. Of course, that could be adjusted. The cool thing about their kits is everything is modular. So if you decide that you will have this kit and you want to make it longer, you can get more of those pieces. There's all kinds of different things you can do to configure these kits to make different style of raised garden beds. Like I said, we'd already purchased one. So of this color, this ivory color as they call it, and same dimensions, so they're going to match up in the yard, and you of course see that here in the future. So real quick, 4 corners, and then we have, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of the flat panels, or they all have this protective coating on them. You'll have to peel off individually. Great task if you got a little helper with you. And then, of course, they come with the cross braces. The top guard here, this is the part that guards the top edge. It's not sharp. I think some of the other models, maybe the cheaper models, but it isn't rolled edge. But that's just an extra level of protection. And then, of course, your bag of hardware. As you saw in there, they have a really cool new manual, basically the user's guide that comes with it. It could be used for any model that they make, and is full color and has excellent instructions. But here's what comes with the hardware. It's all stainless steel, which is good because that prevents it from, or allows it to last much longer. Not to say that it will last forever, but it will last a really long time. There is they do claim a 20-year lifespan on the raised beds, which is significantly longer than one that you're going to make out of any sort of wood. So there's the nut driver, and as I mentioned there previously, you'll need like a number 2 Phillips or cross tip, however you want to call it, screwdriver. Okay, so now that I have all that protective film removed from all the panels, I got it set up. One of the plus sides is setting it up inside of like a garage or any flat concrete space is it's nice and level and makes it easy to assemble. One note I would put there is, laying your panels down on the painted side, you may end up scratching the paint. So I would be extra cautious if you're super concerned about that. Maybe lay down some cardboard, old rug or something like that so that it doesn't scratch the coating. So I start with the two corners in this assembly, and the assembly would obviously change. If you had one that was wider, there would be a flat panel in this area, washer on the inside. Go ahead and start your nut onto the screw and just hand tight, and then keep moving. Okay, so now that I have both of the ends put together, like I said, only hand tight on the hardware as at this point in the assembly, I'll set it, get it laid out, and then start putting on the flat panels. As mentioned earlier, I put the support rods right here, the second hole down across the two sets here. All right, so now that I have it all assembled, everything is hand tight, it's laid out, it's level here on the concrete floor. If you're out in your yard or something, this might be the point where you want to level it up using some sort of shims or something. Okay, so there's only really two tools you need that are not included, right? A spirit level, normal level, so you can check your level. And unless you just want to eyeball it, number 2 screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, something similar to this, right? This style. And or an optional tool is an impact driver or some sort of power tool that you can use. One note I'll put in there before we wrap this up is be careful, don't over torque it. Just use light. It doesn't need to be super cranked down or you might end up damaging the hardware. And done. Well, we'll get it moved out, get it placed once we get the weather's a little better. Thanks for watching. If you like what we see here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out our website, theravenwoodacres.com, and our other social media links down below. Have a great day.